50 years before the events of Rally and our intrepid heroes, the land of Astilla is in change. The Emperor's forces march ever onward on their divine crusade to subjugate the kingdom into stability. For some, this is a time of prosperity. Industry booms in the larger cities, and a lot of the roads are safe where once they were not. But for those tied to the old ways and to the magic that is disappearing across the land, this is a time of mourning. But we are not going to start anywhere near that today, friendos, because far across from any of the geopolitics, way down on the southwestern coast of Astilla, there is a small trapper's town. A village that long ago was a place of pilgrimage. But whatever gods or magics lived here died long before the Emperors in their uncanny reign. The town goes by the name of Valenka. There is a strangeness to the seasons here. And for better or worse, winter is where our story will start. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unbalanced Encounters, the podcast where nobody knows what they're doing and the points don't matter. It's me, Cinder, Block Sally. Hello. I don't normally do this intro. This is a little bit weird. Do you feel uncomfortable? I feel uncomfortable.
Hello, Cinder.
We are doing a special one-shot, well, really a two-shot today, where we're going to be diving into the world of Astilla's past, introducing some new characters to the realm, and maybe, just maybe, visiting, with a little bit of a wink and a nod, the history of some of the folks that we've come to know and love so dearly.
Ooh.
Oh boy. We've got some guests tonight. Some very exciting guests. We have with us two friends of the show and two showfolk of the show. We've got our once dungeon master, now player, Patrick Perini.
Hello, hello, hello.
We've got once player, still player, Emily Graymore.
Hello.
And we are graced with two fantastic guests. We've got Beardy, a.k.a. Nick Plaisance, friend of the show, and we have Sensationally, TikTok creator, and also friend of the show. Beardy's also on TikTok. Everybody's on TikTok these days.
Hello. Salutations. Howdy. Hi.
Howdy.
Oh man, it's so exciting to have you guys here. I'm very glad that you're able to join us, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. Throughout the realm, unusual characters have received some unusual letters, commendations from a mysterious benefactor, offering exorbitant wealth for a brief, albeit incredibly dangerous job. All of this very hush-hush. How many of these letters went out? How long have they been sent? Who is this patron? What do they want? Who cares? It's money. It's big money, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, boy. Let's get fucking paid.
Go big or go home, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, not many people travel to Valenka. Literally, there's nothing there anymore. It's mediocre trapping, and that's about it. It's a quiet village, Valenka. There's tanners and hides being cured. There's a little smithy, but it looks like mostly they just do work to maintain the village. There is no wall around Valenka, even though it is very much in the wilderness. Reevesy and Rennyn, you arrive in Valenka first. What do the locals see when you get to town?
I think that Reevesy is probably leading the way a little bit here. Reevesy, whose obsessive memorization of routes and trails has helped the pair arrive here relatively quickly, despite never having heard of this place and is still not entirely convinced that it's real. Reevesy is sort of sauntering casually ahead. Reevesy is a halfling. He is about 3 foot tall. kind of big, oversized hat, scruffy cape. He does his best to kind of look broke and unmuggable as much as possible. And he's got a wooden sword that for a normal-sized person would be a relatively large wooden sword, but for him, it's something straight out of Seven Samurai, just like slung across his back as the final line of defense should anyone decide that they want to mug him. He is just parading straight into town, kind of checking corners and getting a sense of like, is this place real? Are we walking into a trap? If so, how can I get behind Rennyn?
Amazing.
As Rennyn is walking through town, she is seen as a 5'10", kind of very demure and gentle-looking elven woman. She tends to try and walk gracefully and quietly as much as she can, while also just distractedly looking at everyone, because she loves kind of looking at people. Her hair is always kind of kept in a very tight and neat braid. Her hands are always tucked either into her pockets or her sleeves, while she kind of plays with the rings around her fingers. And she has a wooden-looking mace, though on closer inspection, it's a lot of rusted material on a metal mace.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And she tries to stand tall as she walks behind Reevesy, not really paying attention or not being as observant as he is.
Very cool.
Sweet.
Reevesy, tell me about the time you met Rennyn.
Shit, now I need to... Is this how you guys feel when I ask you questions in character and you're like, do I answer in character or not?
Yep.
100%. And you'd better.
This is your fault. You brought this on yourself.
Well, as y'all know, I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little guy in a big world trying to get by. And things were going. I'm gonna be honest with you, they weren't going too good. The jobs were drying up, hotel bills racking up, so forth and so on. You're always one step ahead of Johnny Law, if you're lucky. I needed a new direction. I needed a, kind of a bit of a new gig, as it were. And I was really very fortunate because I ran into I was having dinner at this old haunt of mine called the Dark Abyss. And out in Agrava there, and there was a fight going on, and this lady, this absolute powerhouse of a person comes out and just decimates the opponent. It was really something to watch. It was very impressive. I made quite a bit of money on that bet, and afterward I tracked it down. And, we had a little bit of a conversation. I offered my services as sort of a special promoter, as it were. Somebody who could kind of get in and figure out who's probably going to be the easiest person to knock down. And then we can organize the fight. We maybe put some bets on the fight. And, it was good going there for a little while till everyone kind of figured out what we were doing. And we had to move on. So we've been a little bit of a traveling roadshow for a time, but taking whatever jobs we can get, and honestly, it feels it's been a good partnership. It's always good to have a friend, especially when you're doing a lot of crime.
I love it so much.
The voice. I'll be honest, I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting that, so that just, hit me, and I was like, oh dear God.
I love it.
I wouldn't say that I won quite easily. I just think my opponent might have been a little bit distracted. And I was enjoying my win after, and some little fellow approached me. Truth be told, I wasn't really quite listening to what he said. I was still kind of thriving off that adrenaline. And all I heard was, I don't have to talk to people to set up my fights. And I was like, that is the best idea. And I decided to go along. I'm just a little guy.
One night, while finishing up a good bout in one of the more dingy Agravarian bars, you guys are sitting in a back room, having some drinks, and there's a bit of a knock on the door. Doom, doom, doom.
Do we think it's the cops?
Doom, doom, doom.
I thought you would do it since you're my manager.
No, yeah, okay. If you don't think it's the cops, I'll go ahead. All right, then. Honestly, the cops probably won't arrest the little guy. So give me 1 second. Wait.
And Reezy reaches up, grabs the door, swings it open.
There in front of you is not a person, but an envelope on the ground.
Way shorter than I expected.
Written across the front of it is "Good fight."
We do love a good fight.
Reezy cracks the envelope open.
Sorry, did you say fight?
Yeah, I think I might have gotten us a lead.
As you walk the streets of Valenka looking for this job, you find the only building in town that seems like it has any life in it at all right now. A tavern that looks like it also might work as an inn for wayward travelers. And you make your way inside. The inn is separated into a couple sections. There are several large tables that almost look like picnic tables where the benches are hammered into the ground. And there are stools along a bar. Sitting at the tables, you see 5 or 6 fairly burly-looking men kind of laughing and carousing. At the stools, you see a couple people. You see an old, very big... Well, it's hard to tell. It's a guy who's just covered in furs. So either he's big or his cloak is just really big, and he looks very drunk. He's sitting with his face like half falling out of his hand at the bar. And the bartender... a very tall, muscular-looking woman with stark white hair with like these wisps of black coming out, almost like porcupine quills, looks up at you. Do you need a room tonight, or are you just here for drinks?
Can I do a quick, I don't know, maybe perception check to get a sense of like, is there anyone in this room that looks like they might be associated with tremendous amounts of money?
Yeah, sure. Make a perception check.
Oh, that's a nat 1.
Nat 1? No, man. I mean, that guy's with the big furs. Like, there's some nice looking furs. It's some good work.
Is there anyone that looks like they're not super busy in a conversation?
Yeah, there is a younger looking woman who is sitting on the far side of the bar, and she has a big leather apron that is like folded up on the table next to her, and she's got bits of like soot on her hands and face, and kind of like tightly pulled back hair that poofs out into this big craziness that's held back with a little piece of brass, like a little clasp.
I walk towards her and I do that half teacher sit on a table in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
I feel attacked.
Listen, that's me. Are you busy right now?
No, not in particularly.
I admire the tightness of your ponytail. I wish I could get my braids that tight.
It's let me show you this trick I have. And she reaches up behind and she like pushes a little, and she pulls out this brass ring that looks like it has a hinge on it, so she can like snap it shut. I made this actually. You want to buy one?
Oh, I would have to ask my manager. I don't take care of the finances. But that is so incredibly impressive.
Thank you. That's very nice to hear. You can see she's trying to like act less emotionally impacted by that than she is.
Oh, absolutely. You know, as working women, it's important to recognize each other's talents.
Yes, queen. Yes.
She smiles and raises her drink to you and says, do you need something to drink? Olga, get the drink for the traveler.
Oh,
on me.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I am a little distracted. You see, there is a wagon that comes to town once a week or so. has been doing it so for a month, and it brings trouble to town. And your eyes kind of go to the kind of rowdy-looking guys that are in the corner.
Trouble? Like, you're in trouble?
Like outsiders and violence and recklessness.
I think as she says that, we overhear Reevesy slam his sword down onto the counter. He's gotten up onto one of the bar stools so that he can look the tavern keeper in the eye.
You're charging what for a room?
Listen, you want to sleep in the winter cold, you're more than welcome to.
You're charging 25% more than I could get a similarly sized room at Agravar. We're in the ass end of nowhere.
In Agravar, there are how many inns? If you throw a stone, you can't miss an inn. How many inns
So
are
you're telling
here?
me you're exercising monopoly practices and that's why we have to pay so fucking much? All right, fine.
It's 3 silver.
Fine, you win.
It's 3 silver.
Fine. Listen, we're not loaded. I'm just a little guy. I only can carry so much money.
And Reevesy pulls out fucking 6 silver. Trying to hide the 40 gold in the satchel.
The woman that you were talking to, she looks over at you, Reevesy, and then looks back to you, Rennyn. I am Johnny, by the way.
Johnny?
Yes.
I'm Rennyn.
Nice to meet you.
It is so lovely to meet you. I love meeting other strong, independent women.
You have a little bit more of a strength in you. And she eyes your mace.
You know, a girl's gotta protect herself out there. I mean, that little guy over there, that's my manager.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? Listen, I got the bartender to throw in these whiskeys for free just to get me to shut up. So here we got 3 of them. She was being very generous.
Rennyn, knowing Reevesy's personality, just laughs.
That's very kind. I would be wary of them. You notice you don't see it, but you hear the table of, rabble-rousers in the back. Just for a second, get real quiet.
I wouldn't worry too much about that. We're wary of everybody.
I could just fight them.
I mean, that's a good point, but I feel like it's less valuable for you to fight them when we can't win anything.
Well, if you stopped making me control myself and you let me punch them until they were knocked out, then you could just take all of their stuff.
I don't think they have anything worth taking, if I'm honest.
Don't people buy furs?
Hold on, hold on, wait, hold on. Let me. Wait, hold on. I wonder if they have nice boots.
God.
Lambert, what do the townsfolk of Valenka see when you enter?
There's a thing that happens when you carve space out of a forest, and all the smaller trees are suddenly exposed to the elements and storms, and all the big trees are gone, and those little trees get knocked around and bent and broken, and they grow back from those breaking points in weird ways. And that's the impression people get of Lambert, is he is bent, he is broken. His nose has probably been broken more than once. There are scars running through his beard, and which all seems to be hacked off with the little simple skinning knife he keeps at his belt. His hair is the color of dead pine needles and looks like it's been kind of hacked, almost shaven on the sides by himself to a small tail of hair that's just kind of wild through the middle of his head. And is tallish and willowy, pretty unassuming from a distance, and it's not till you get real up close that you notice this guy's got a lot of lines on him and missing parts to his ears, and his eyes seem to be constantly moving.
Awesome. You feel something about this place almost immediately when you arrive here. When a garden goes too long without a gardener, it grows wild. And that is kind of the feeling you get as you enter this space. The trees are just a little more twisted. The birds have heightened features, slightly sharper beaks. There's an element of untethered to the life in this forest. It almost feels like you're walking into a conversation as opposed to walking into a town.
Lambert certainly, he's been a bit of a stranger in a strange land for the last couple of years, and he's kind of new to a lot of these sensations. And the feeling he's getting from this place, while he can recognize it, there's also a fair element of anxiety because he feels more as if he's been noticed, and the power that he's been used to, it feels like there's a bit of a rivalry in this space that he's just entered. While he's recognizing it, he's also a bit wary.
Out of the corner of your eye, you see a creature pushing up some recently fallen snow. A hare. Massive ears that seem to twist and bend at every angle constantly. Probably unseen by most others, but you have a knack for spotting hidden creatures. And as you're watching it, you flash back. North of Agrovar, in a little pioneer settlement that is helping construct a dam that will hopefully allow a larger community to grow, there is a bit of a panic. A man has been found dead, but not just dead, mauled, torn to ribbons. Many people think it is a wolf or bear, some rabid creature. This is the third attack on this town in the past 4 nights. You sit at the far side of the tavern in a little enclosed booth, quietly taking in all of the fear. What are you thinking about?
Well, I suppose Lambert is a little anxious that perhaps the terror that he's feeling in this room has perhaps gotten a little bit away from the goal, but he's satisfied that the overall effect seems to be coming to place here. Talk about the dam project is getting a little nervous, and progress is slowing, and Lambert's pretty happy about that.
No one's paying you much mind. No one ever does. Then you spot someone that you haven't seen from the town before. They're not dressed like they're from the town. They have big traveler's cloak, but it's nice. It looks new, not very weathered. And they are sort of scanning all the folks that are sitting and carousing and spreading rumors, and their eyes settle on you. They give you a knowing look, and they approach. Excuse me. Do you mind if I sit?
Howdy, friend. Don't believe we've met.
I can't imagine that we would have. I've never been here before.
Well, sure, go ahead and pull up a chair.
There are rumors that these woods are haunted.
So I've heard. Talk of the town, as it were.
What do you think?
Well, I don't know. Been a lot of disturbance out in the forest. Stands to reason. Send wolf packs looking for more food and send them into our own circles. It's a terrible thing, I suppose, but could have been foreseen.
I think perhaps you are not from here as well.
That's a canny observation. I'm traveling through myself.
I must confess, I find you quite curious.
What an odd thing to say to a stranger.
I suppose I must also confess that you are no stranger to me. And he reaches into his vest.
Lambert kind of scoots back in his chair a second as he does that.
And he pulls out an envelope, and he slides it across the table to you.
Lambert pins it with a middle finger and just drags it across the table slowly, keeping an eye on the stranger until the envelope letter reaches right over the edge of the table And he just kind of deftly opens it with 2 or 3 fingers, flips it open.
Pop it open. A message about a job, no questions asked, out in the far wilderness somewhere. You actually, will you do me a favor? Could you roll me either a nature or a religion check?
Yeah, let's see here. All right, I'm going to go nature here. There it goes, a 15.
The town on the paper, Valenka. You have heard of this place before, but it's not one that you would think about much. It's a place of old stories. When a person dies in the forest, people sometimes might think that that forest would become haunted. What happens when a god dies in a forest? The only thing that really comes to your mind about Valenka is that before this country was anywhere near what it was, there was a god that lived in that region, a god of the seasons. The most well-known story is that they were there and then they weren't. The man sitting across from you says, "You do good work, but you are just one man. Resources will get you further. Good day." And he stands up, flips a coin to the bartender, and strolls out.
Lambert's wearing pretty loose clothing, but just underneath all of that, there's a rough set of leather and hide armor, but instead of buckles or fasteners, there's just a series of odd slip knots and bowline knots, all tying everything together. And he just, for a second, fiddles with 1 or 2 of them across his chest and watches the stranger leave, crumples the letter up in his hand. And he thinks, if a god dies in a forest and there's no one around to worship them, then who avenges them?
Your mind pulls back to the present as the hare skitters off into the wilderness, and the town of Valenka stands before you. You wander through it for a little while until you make your way to the tavern. Upon entering, you are greeted by a boisterous, "Get out of my way," as a man covered in pelts and furs slams into you. He is a little bit taller than you. He is old. His face has kind of a crypt keeper vibe to it, where you are seeing almost like skull pulled tight with skin, massive beard, and he trips as he walks past you and stumbles into the snow. Sort of, "Maurice, let's get out of here." It sort of starts wandering away. Olga, the tavern keeper, looks at you, kind of like eyes you up and down. "I think you're with them." And she points at a table that has a halfling and an elf with a old-looking mace at her side. They seem to be squabbling back and forth about money or fighting or something.
I think the fuck not.
Are you sure?
Lambert has kept that letter that he got crumpled up to kind of release any scent and pheromones that may have been on it from the get-go, and has kept that memory as tight in the front of his brain as he can. Does he get any similarity in scent in this place?
Ooh. Yeah, I'm not actually going to make you roll for that, I don't think.
That's the best thing I've ever heard. I've never had a player be like, "I am going to remember the smell of this letter, and that's how I'm going to find your fucking MacGuffin." So good.
That is so smart.
You do. Something in this space has a very similar scent to the letter that you have familiarized yourself with so much.
Lambert idly for a second fiddles with those knots near his chest and one on his hip. And then he kind of settles himself, grabs his hands, wrings his fingers a bit. All right, you can do this. It's just people. You know people. You've grown up with people. Go talk to people. Please be normal people. And he's gonna approach the table. "Howdy, strangers. I think we may I think we may have common cause.
Common cause? What are you talking about?
You receive a letter a little ways back pointing you...
Nope, no idea what you're talking about.
Oh. And Lambert turns to Rennyn. I think I'll be talking to you for right now.
Listen, I think you'll find that I'm their manager.
Yeah, he is my manager.
Well, that is a mighty loud voice coming out of a mighty small frame there.
Listen, it's all the better to dismiss you with.
Fair enough.
Damn, Reevesy!
Oh my god, Reevesy!
Fucking the burns on this bitch. Dang.
Reevesy, I'll take this. Sorry, you said...
Miss Rennyn, are you sure? This guy seems... I think he might be the cops.
I look Lambert up and down.
Point of order, Lambert looks as close to like an 80s English punk rock anarchist as possible in this universe, so he's as far from the cops as possible.
That's just what they want you to think. That's just what the cop's picture of not a cop would look like.
You know, you're not wrong, Reevesy. But looking at him, I could take him.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
I need a fresh coat of paint on Rennyn Jr. And I hold the mace gently.
Is that where the fucking rust comes from? Because that's the most disquieting thing I've ever goddamn
That's
heard.
insane.
Yes!
I love that so much.
All right, if you're sure about this one, I'm just gonna,
And Reevesy grabs his sword and just kind of thumps it on the ground at the ready.
You two are aware that I'm standing right here and I can hear your conversation, yes?
If you're a cop, you have to tell us. Otherwise, it's entrapment.
Look, I don't want to waste anyone's time here. I've traveled a long way and not so pleasantly, and I know that you're bearing the same letter that I received.
You just met us. How do you know that?
I'll keep some things close to the chest for now, but I believe you were offered a job, is that correct, for some exorbitant sum of money that we are likely not to be paid?
What do you mean likely not to be paid?
Let me ask you, little one, how were you expecting to haul that much gold out of a place in the middle of nowhere like this?
Well, I had kind of been thinking about concocting a little thing where we dress it up like a pig and roll it out of town. I'm not sure how effective that would have been. But one way or the other, I feel like we could probably take anybody who came after us, you know?
I'm going to die in this town, aren't I?
No.
Paula, you've been traveling for a long time to get here, but as intense as a trek through the winter can be for many, not as much for you. You are comfortable in this cold. What do the people of Valenka see when you arrive in town?
As I walk into Valenka, they see a mighty handsome woman. Strong jaw, aquiline nose, violet eyes, and hair, well, mostly no hair except for a vibrant red ponytail at the back of her skull, long all the way down to her hips, which rock as she walks thunderously over the cobblestones.
As you step through town, you see two things almost immediately. You see what appears to be a man sleeping in the snow, kind of like in a snowdrift next to the tavern, covered in furs, with like a hat with like a flask in one hand, with like a leather flask kind of like sticking out. He looks like he's sleeping, and there's like drool coming down his face, and it's kind of freezing.
A little icicle.
I may have left that man down.
Yeah, a little icicle is growing out of the corner of his mouth.
I need to. I'm so invested in this guy's business right now, and none of us have approached him like at all. Like, I need to know. He's come up for every single one of us, and I need to know who he is.
And you hear a sound that you are very familiar with, of rabble-rousing and drinking. It reminds you of your dinner halls after like a victory. It's a little out of place in the melancholy tone of this village, and it's coming from the inn.
The man laying in the snowbank.
Yeah.
Is there signs of life other than the frozen drool?
You see little of like puffs of breath, and if you go approach, you hear a little like.
She kind of looks down and sort of nods approvingly, and then sort of dusts off her own furs from some of the falling snow. She's got huge sort of like, basically, you know how like rich women have like the fox stoles like around their shoulders? She's just got a whole wolf. Like she's a big gal, and she prepares to step inside the inn, ready for a nice, I think, a good drink. I think she's ready for a good drink. She's been on the road for a long time, so she's just kind of gonna brusquely bust open the door.
There's a gust of wind, a moment of quiet, as you see 8 or 9 kind of burly-looking dudes wearing big, tattered traveling cloaks, sort of being like loud and boisterous. And then on the far side of the bar, like opposite side to them, you see 3 individuals sitting, looking very awkwardly. One of them sitting like very quiet and just kind of watching, as the other 2 are kind of like gibbering back and forth a bit. And the bartender immediately looks at you and says, "Hello, there are a lot this week. I think you're with them."
Don't you mean with these fine gentlemen? And she'll kind of gesture towards the burly men in front of her.
"You are here for the wagon, yes?"
Perhaps. Well, first, before I make my decision on who I'd like to spend this evening with, do you have... Oh, could I have a Bellini, please?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, a Cosmopolitan?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, what do you have, my fine lady?
We have ale and we have whiskey.
Oh, well, I'll have a whiskey. Do you have any soda porter?
What language are you speaking?
Okay, just the whiskey is fine. I'll just take the whiskey, please, and a large one, thank you.
Of course. She pours you like a half-pint glass full of whiskey. Way too much whiskey.
Fantastic.
Puts the bottle down. She kind of eyes the more rambunctious group at the far side. You are not with them. You are with them.
Why are they being so rowdy today? What's gotten their wind up?
They are hoping to take the job that I think you have.
Oh, is that so? Competition, eh? This just got awfully exciting. Wait, did you... So, those 3, and she'll kind of point to the the weirdos on the table over there. You're saying they're who I'm going to be working with, instead of those chaps?
I don't know if you or will be working together, but I know that for the past month or so, strange characters have been coming to town, and some of them a little bit more professional than others. You seem a little bit more professional.
Oh, yes. Thank you, darling. Thank you. And you. What a gorgeous establishment, by the way.
Thank you. I work very hard on keeping it nice.
It shows. And that little vase of flowers you put on the window ledge, I mean, even though they're a little bit past their prime, and she kind of points to, like, some dead things that have been there, like, several months, I mean, it just adds that little bit of glamour, you know? Gorgeous. Thank you for the whiskey, and she'll just put a gold piece on the bar. Keep the change, darling.
Very kind.
And she's going to head on over to the table, kick a stool close to the table, like get it in position and just plonk herself down, like the table going doo-doo-doo, like as she does. Ladies, gentlemen.
I am not splitting this 4 ways.
Well, obviously, I'm taking the whole lot.
Let me get a look at your boots.
She just like, without even questioning it, whacks like her leg up onto the table, and you just see like a thigh-high, like, leather beast. How's that for you, darling?
Miss Reddit, if we gotta take any of them, make sure I get her boots, okay?
I think they might be a bit big for you, but hey, I don't kink shame.
Well, this is escalating, isn't it?
Let's not beat around the bush. You all got some kind of thing about 30,000 gold?
Yes.
I guess the secret's out of the bag, huh?
I was told there was a fight.
I hope there's a fight too. I like your style.
Oh, I love a good fight. Rennyn.
Oh, Paula, pleasure. I know we're going to get along famously, darling. Apparently, those chaps over there, they're also after our 30,000.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Rennyn, you want to kick their asses?
Not right now. We have insider information. That lady I was talking to was telling me about a cart.
Oh yes, I've heard something about a wagon or a cart.
Yes, apparently it comes once a week, and then people get in, and they go to the job, and they finish. Sometimes there's violence.
Once a week is about 1/7 of the available days. Do you know, which day it's supposed to come?
It comes tomorrow.
Oh!
Ah, a pirate!
Leaning over your table, hands slumped in their face, half their beard completely frozen. You see the drunkard who is outside. And again, I cannot overemphasize the amount of furs that he is covered in. But y'all shouldn't go.
Shouldn't go where? What are you talking about? We don't know nothing.
Apologize, old-timer. I thought you'd walked this earth long enough as it was, but seems you got a little bit more time left in you. What do you mean we shouldn't go?
I'm immortal.
Apparently so.
Excuse me?
I'm just kidding.
I mean, you never know. Some people are immortal.
You're immortal till you're dead.
That's not always true.
Huh?
This is too much for me. I'm just gonna just drink some of her whiskey while this is
Listen. With your ears, listen. But with your hearts, y'all gonna try to understand.
Didn't you leave to, go home a little while ago?
I just took a nap. I had to go check out Maurice, make sure he was doing all right. He's fine. Don't worry about him. Listen.
All right. Glad I don't have to worry about Maurice.
There's a very good chance that Maurice is dead.
Every single person that has left with that, ain't none of them come back. Everybody dies. Those woods are haunted. There's monsters. It's spooky. Y'all should not go.
Well, hold on a second. Friendo, I don't know your name, but it's really not that important.
I'm Asa.
If they don't... Masa? Lassa?
Asa.
Cool.
Asa Amim, how's it going?
Listen, this wagon friend, that we may or may not be interested in, you can't prove nothing in a court. If everybody goes...
Yeah.
And then they do the job and then they get paid, why would they come back?
Nobody comes back to get paid.
How do you know they're not getting paid elsewhere?
Because I found a bunch of them.
That's far. You should lead with that because seeing them dead is qualitatively different from just never seeing them again.
Lambert is giving Reevesy a very pointed look, like, do you see?
One man's way to start conversations, another man's way to start a conversation.
Generally.
Yeah.
Nice talk, friend.
Okay. Listen, be quiet, little man. Isa,
Asa.
sorry?
What? Huh?
What? Yes, anyway. What day of the week does this wagon come by?
If it's going to be following the schedule it's been following, it'll be here tomorrow.
Tomorrow, great. And what direction does it generally leave in?
No, it don't leave. It come, and then it go back the way it came. And it sends folks south, north.
Wait, so the people don't leave with the wagon?
Nope. Some of them bring their own wagons and stuff.
I'm pretty sure this is just a person giving information. Is the timbre of the information I'm getting here?
You're the brains of the operation, huh?
Nah, I'm just a little guy.
Are we supposed to bring our own wagon?
I don't generally think we need a wagon. I don't know why other people would bring a wagon. I feel like it would just... I mean, maybe to get the gold out, but according to our friend here, nobody's ever been paid, so...
A lot of people went set north. That much money on the table. Half the town decided to try it. If you was some 20-something jabroni in a bodunk town, somebody came in, offered you enough gold to buy a title. You think you wouldn't try it? Half this town went crazy.
Listen, buddy, I'm a 20-something jabroni from a very large town, and somebody offered me this exact same amount of money, and I traveled halfway across this godforsaken continent to get it. I get what you're putting down.
I didn't put anything. Did I drop anything? Oh, and you see him like reach around. He pulls on this little chain. He pulls out a little necklace. He goes, nope, and puts it back in.
Can I do an insight check on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I was gonna say, see if we can spot anything.
Can I do a sleight of hand check to take it off him?
You can certainly try.
Do I want to throw a wrench into things this quickly?
Yes.
Oh wait, I have advantage on insight.
Right as Reevesy's doing that, can I roll whatever you want me to roll to sniff this guy out and see if he's actually drunk?
Yes, smell him.
That's a great idea. Okay, whatever you think is the most applicable for scent related, I'm happy to go with.
I'll go survival on this one.
What did you get, Paula?
I got a 15 in the end.
With a 15, it's not a necklace that you've seen before, but you notice two things immediately. It looks nice, like very nice, like
Too nice for this tramp.
like it doesn't fit the I'm a trapper in the woods vibe.
Yeah.
But that's not what's important. That's almost secondary.
Oh.
There's a rune carved into the amulet. Very few people left in the world know how to do runic magic. And your tribe is one of them. And for a moment, we flash back. It's a cold night as the elders of your tribe gather. They sit around a large fire. The air smells a bit of like old sage and of cinnamon. There has been a strange lack of compelling hunts as of late. The season has been dry. You are the leader of the Krakow, and the elders are looking to you for aid. Is it time to move?
Where do you expect us to go? I have wandered so far trying to find good trophies to bring back to this tribe, and it's getting scarcer and scarcer. It's almost as if the animals themselves are abandoning the forests around us.
There was a runner. A message was sent, but it wasn't for you.
Who was it for?
It was for Reynard. And one of the elders goes and they pull out a envelope that has been cut open, and there is blood streaked across it. Reynard's blood.
Well, one less mouth to feed, I suppose. What does it say?
It's an offer for work. Something about 30,000 gold in Valenka.
At that, she stands up and snatches the letter and reads it for herself.
And it is a letter that is for Reynard, who was once one of the prized hunters of your clan. And it suggests that he travel south, far south. You would know Valenka. Valenka is old.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same way that you still have a little bit of the languages of times past in the things that you do,
Mm-hmm.
Valenka was once a place that people would go to from your tribe regularly. It was a place of pilgrimage.
Perhaps it's time I revisit Valenka and see if it's somewhere we can go. And I might be able to get 30,000 gold out of the mix, so that's something.
You flash back to present time where Reevesy is trying to pickpocket Aza Amin. And what did you roll for your sleight of hand check? You fuck.
I haven't rolled it yet.
I rolled a 13 for survival. Sniffing him out, basically.
He doesn't smell super strongly of alcohol.
Okay.
He smells almost of more like campfire, and there is like a chai in something. He does seem drunk, but you also notice that every time you've seen him drinking, he's been drinking from his flask.
I think at this point, Reevesy is going to throw kind of an elbow into Rennyn's thigh of like target potentially acquired, right?
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Let's run the protocol, and then just wait.
Thank you so much for the information.
This has been interesting meeting y'all.
Yeah, before you go,
Yeah.
you seem really strong.
Huh?
You seem really strong.
Oh, well, I suppose I do have to chop wood a lot.
Would you fancy an arm wrestle?
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Well, alright then. Is there I'll get a stool. He grabs the stool and sits down across from you. I haven't arm wrestled in a long time. Have the rules changed?
You have to look at my eyes the whole time.
Alright then. And he puts his arm up on the table, puts his elbow up and kind of rolls down his sleeve. When he rolls down his sleeve, he is rail thin. He is a very old looking man. You can see
Incredible.
veins in his hands. They look weathered and he's like sinew and bone. He is a ancient person.
Sin, you're gonna arm wrestle someone with the osteoporosis.
Alright.
Rennyn feels a slight pang of guilt, but remembers that Reevesy is their friend, and proceeds to roll their own sleeve down, which has like the jacked forearm of someone who would like rock climb, and has like brass knuckles on their fingers.
Nice.
Amazing. Alright, roll me an athletics check.
And is this enough to get advantage on the sleight of hand?
I will let you roll with advantage.
Thank you.
Lambert's gonna stand there and just kind of surreptitiously hold a little, like, bit of vine, like thorn-wrapped vines in his pocket, and is gonna prick his thumb on it, and he's just watching this happen, very, eyes clocking this dude and thinking about the way he smells.
I think Paul is just going to look at Rennyn's arm and just like, yes, nice.
That's a 23.
Oh, shit.
23.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, he got he rolled a 4, and that's a 4 minus 2.
Oh no!
Oh no!
It wasn't a plus 20, so okay.
He got a 2. Please describe how you win this arm wrestling.
Break this man's arm.
This man's life.
Rennyn gives this man a graceful smile as she holds his hand and just grips it so hard that the brass knuckles leave a dent in his palm and shoves his arm down on the table with a loud thud.
Ow! God dang! And you see him like look at his hand for a second, and it's sort of like Looney Tune is throbbing. Oh, that was you're strong.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you like that.
My fingers, they still do their thing mostly. This one's a little. And you see like his pinky's not quite closing all the way. Oh, we're gonna have to work on that.
Oh, goodness.
Oh.
Broken fingers are the worst, really.
Let me take a look at that, buddy. I usually help clean up after some of the messier ones. Here, let me take a look at your hand. I'm a certified medic, by the way. You don't need to listen. I'll take a look.
Did you roll your sleight of hand check already?
I got a nat 20 for a 26.
All right. Give me 1 second. Let me roll. We still got to give him a chance.
Oh,
Same.
that's nice.
I want everyone to know how bad Sin feels as a human right now. I feel really bad.
This is my perception check that I rolled for him to notice.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Oh.
What's the modifier?
It's higher than +6.
Oh.
You see, Reevesy, his eyes dart to your hands.
Yep.
Not only do you notice him not being distracted, It's almost as if he is waiting for you to try to pickpocket him. He catches you first. You spot him notice that, and he kind of stands up. Well, it was real nice meeting y'all. And he pulls the necklace out like this, and he looks at you, Reevesy, and he says, "You're a good kid. I don't want you getting in trouble. And this is mine, and it's special to me. It's mine, and it's special to me." And he, like, swings it over his head. And he, like, stumbles down and goes, "I'm gonna go take a little bit more of a nap, I think. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna find Maurice. Maurice, we gotta go." And he starts stumbling out of the bar. And as he does, you see two of those rabble-rousers kind of elbow each other and look at him. There's a little bit of a whisper, and you see 4 of them get up and leave after him.
I'm going to step up to Paula's side real quick and just say quietly and just release my thumb on that thorny vine and say to Paula, "I think 2 things are happening here. 1, I was almost positive that he was Maurice. And 2, that man was either acting or he's been drugged. But I don't believe he has been imbibing alcoholic drinks tonight."
Yes, there's something about him that I am unsure about too. But the first thing I want to do is, I'm going to teach those boys a lesson who think they're going to mug him. Shall we?
Sure, we're already invested, it seems.
Oh, I didn't catch your name, by the way.
Oh, and this reaches out a gnarled hand, and you see there's a little streak of blood down from the thumb, and he kind of absentmindedly wipes it real fast. Name's Lambert, ma'am. You can call me Lamb, never Bert.
Oh, and don't worry, darling, a little bit of blood never bothered me. In fact, the more the merrier. And I'm Paula, if you didn't catch it before.
Nice to meet you.
Shall we?
Yeah, let's go have some fun.
Would you two like to join us?
I guess. I don't know what the fuck was up with that guy. He was real quick. That was very odd. I don't think we've ever been caught in that doubles act before. But I don't know. Rennyn, you want to go beat some people up?
We're beating people up?
I mean, if you want. I know you've been kind of itching to punch something. It's been like 2 weeks since you've had a fight, so it's probably reasonable.
Oh, Reevesy, you're the best.
Yeah, I know. Paula, Bert, good to meet you.
Pleasure. Now, ladies first. And she's just going to bust out of the front door.
When you bust open the door, you see the 4 men have knocked this mysterious Aza Amin into the snow. They are standing over him with short swords drawn, and you hear Aza yelling, pleading, but not with them. He's just yelling, "Maurice! Don't hurt them! They don't know what they're doing!" As they are, like, kicking him in the snow.
What the fuck? What? Excuse me?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the mid-roll. It's the middle of the episode. Are you having fun with this weird little one-shot so far? I hope so. This episode is part 1 of 2 one-shot little episodes in this story that we tell, and then we shall be getting back to the main campaign and the beginning of Arc 3 afterwards. Just a couple things I want to let you know about today before we get back to the action. Number 1, our website is revamped. It's awesome now. Go check it out. It's super cool. High five forever. Now when you suggest our podcast to your friends, you don't have to be embarrassed because our website doesn't look jank anymore. In fact, one might argue that it looks a little bit fancy or professional. In other news, on March 25th, we are having a rally trivia night. There'll be prizes, a bunch of the cast will be there, it's gonna be super fun. And if you win, I think you get to name an NPC in the show, so that's pretty cool. The event will be taking place in our Discord at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, March 25th. If you're not in our Discord, you should check it out. It's a great place for folks to come and discuss episodes, share fan art, just hang out with the cast. We also do listen-watch parties to new episodes if folks want to hang out together and discuss episodes as they're airing. And even some homebrew hangout time if any of you are dungeon masters or designers out there and just want to hang while you're writing your homebrew. Check it out at unbalancedencounters.com. I think there's a link for it there. Hopefully there is, and this is not me just being silly. You step out of the inn into the blistery cold of the night and see in front of you those 4 ruffians standing over Aza Amin. He is in the snow, carrying, kind of putting his hands up over his head a little bit. 3 of them have short swords out, and 1 has a long sword. They aren't attacking him with them yet. They're kind of just kicking him, and they're yelling, "Give us the necklace, old man. Give us the necklace." Like, that seems pretty cool, but that's worth a lot of coin. Like, yeah, we're here for coin, buddy. And he is yelling, "Maurice, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay, Maurice. I got gold." And you can see he's like starting to take out a little pouch of gold to try to give them. What would you like to do?
Oh boy, a counter-mugging.
I think if this escalates, we're about to meet Maurice, and he doesn't sound too fun.
I bet we could take him.
So Maurice is not a voice inside of his head?
If he is, we could definitely take him.
Right, while you're deciding, I'm going to stop them from kicking the poor man. She's just going to walk straight up. Say, "Excuse me, gentlemen, would you mind stopping before I break your legs?"
They all slowly stop for a second and turn to look at you. And I would like everybody to roll initiative.
Yeah.
Don't scoop the boots.
Or 2.
Don't worry, I'll give them a fine, good drubbing.
Can I see if they are about to move against Paula?
Whether or not they're about to move against Paula, it looks like Paula's about to move against them.
That's fair.
I got a whole 2.
Rennyn, what did you get?
19.
19. Nice.
Ooh, very good.
Lambert, what did you get?
21.
Oh, shoot.
It was a nat 20 with a +1.
Oh, shit. All right. Nice.
And last but certainly not least, Reevesy, what'd you get, buddy?
I also got a 19.
Not bad.
Oh, dang. Y'all speedy.
Lambert.
Yes.
After Paula walks up and gives that menacing little speech, you see her muscles twitch, her heels kind of shift weight. She is about to attack. What would you like to do?
So, you said short swords. Did someone have a different weapon?
Yes, one of them has a long sword and a little buckler on his arm.
Lambert's real chewed up looking ears are starting to twitch, and his eyes go straight to the guy in front of Paula. He takes a step to the side in the snow and brings out that little piece of thorn, runs it along his thumb, and just gives a little hum to himself, and casts Thorn Whip at the guy. 10 to hit.
The one with the buckler says, "Merrick, look out!" He unfortunately is not hit by your Thorn Whip. Reevesy.
What the actual fuck is that?
Don't worry about it. And he just snaps off the dried Thorn Whip and discards it into the snow.
Okay, well, next time, don't miss. What we doing, boss? You want I should go for his knees?
Go for the knees. Always.
All right. Okay, I'm coming for your knees there, buddy. I hope you're ready.
And Reevesy is going to do something that I've been very excited about doing since we spun these characters up. Reevesy is going to go straight through Paula's legs.
Yes.
To take a swing at this guy's knees. However,
Oh my.
before I do that, I would like to bonus action hide. I can hide behind creatures that are larger than me.
Very cool.
And I am indeed a thick.
I know how it works mechanically, but what is happening when Reevesy's doing that?
So the way that Reevesy fights, because Reevesy's just a little guy, is that he is literally trying to get his entire body behind one of Paula's legs, and then he's going to take this oversized sword and just like get around the leg, thwacking at this ruffian's knees.
Especially like poking from behind her.
Amazing. All right. Give me an attack roll, please.
Should I hide first?
Yes, hide first. I'm sorry.
Great. Oh, boy, howdy. That's a 27.
I don't think any of them could see you, even if they rolled a natural 20.
Incredible.
Behind my thunder thighs.
I will not even worry about rolling for that. You are hidden.
And that's attack with advantage then, yeah?
Yes.
Great. That is going to be a dirty 20 to hit.
Jesus.
Oh, that hits for sure.
That is going to be 20 points of damage to this guy's knees.
Holy fuck.
Excuse me?
This has been mentioned briefly, but just for our players and our audience, Reevesy is fighting with a wooden sword, correct?
That's 20 points of bludgeoning damage, yes.
Jesus.
Ow.
The sound that all of you hear, have you ever seen those industrial press YouTube videos where they crush objects made of hard plastic?
Oh my god.
Oh no, please.
All of you hear this crackling pop as Reevesy, this man's legs both start bending the wrong way. And he falls to the ground, he screams, drops his sword, and you can see he's like in so much pain that he's stunned. So I'm actually going to give him the stunned condition for that.
Ooh, that's gonna be a compound fracture.
One of them goes, Austin, no, bruh!
I feel so much better about that now that I know that they're fucking, yes.
Rennyn.
Aston, does he look quite fresh? Or, like, is he having a rough time?
He looks like his soul has left his body for a round. He might be coming back, but even if he's coming back with their legs bent that way, that means that they're taking at least a little bit of a vacation.
Seeing Reevesy kind of do this damage, Rennyn decides to kind of start off with a show and is going to take some dirt from her pocket and throw it in with the snow and swing it up with her mace and cast sleep. As if I'm swinging and just the strength of my swing puts them to sleep.
Ooh.
Oh, that's cool.
Lambert is watching this very closely.
Amazing. So the way that sleep works is you roll a bunch of dice, right?
5d8, but I am going to cast it at a second level. So it's going to be 7d8.
Okay.
That is going to be... That's going to be a 44.
It's definitely going to put Aston to sleep.
Probably a good thing, honestly.
Poor legs.
So, okay, let me do a little math here for a second. You see Aston immediately fall asleep. One guy goes, Aston, no! And then you see two of the other ones that are holding their short swords kind of like, bro, I'm feeling a little bit sleepy. And two swords fall as two others drop to sleep.
Oh my god.
And the one that has the longsword and the buckler says, Ashlyn Heston, no! You guys, what did you do to my friends? Points his longsword at you and kind of starts holding his buckler in a defensive position. But yeah, they are, three of them got put asleep.
Yes. I'm going to stay where I am and kind of pose triumphantly, but wink at Paula and give her a bardic inspiration.
Amazing.
Penny.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
So this one guy who's left is sort of like holding his sword up, and you can see he's very drunk. But he also is standing strong, and it seems like there is a level of skilled fighter be it underneath that drunkenness. Yo, dudes, it's not cool, man. Wake my friends up. Also, I'm going to kill you and take your stuff because you're a bunch of losers. And he charges forward towards the biggest target, which is Paula. And he is going to take two slices at you with his longsword. The first one is a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that's gonna hit. Yeah.
All right, so you're going to take 6 damage on the first one. The second one is a 19 to hit.
Yeah.
You're going to take another 6 damage.
Oofa doofa.
And you're going to hear the sound of something cracking, like glass breaking, in his hand that's holding his buckler. And his hand is going to start to faintly glow, and that glow is going to shift down to the buckler.
Huh.
You don't even know who you messed with. You just made the biggest mistake of your life. And it is now your turn, Paula.
All right, Junior, sit down.
And she is going to, attack him, I think. Yes. I think she's just going to swing her mighty hammer. She's going to pull her huge kind of like two-handed hammer off of her back. And as she does so, I suppose like she's got like these like tattoos, sort of like runic tattoos, kind of like on her person. And they kind of just ever so slightly and faintly just glow a little bit as she brings this hammer around to this dude. And she only rolls a 10, so does it?
A 10 does not hit. He kind of like stumbles, sidesteps. Gonna have to try better than that.
Oh, let me use my bardic inspiration. What about a 14?
A 14 hits.
Yes! Yes!
As he's like saying like you better try again, you just boom, slam him.
All right, let's see what the damage is.
While you're rolling damage, Reevesy, who is within 5 feet, Paul is also within 5 feet, is going to use his reaction on gang tactics and just boop, smack him in between the legs with the tip of his sword for an extra 1d6 damage.
She rolled a 15.
15 damage.
+2.
17 total. As you slam down into him, he holds up his buckler, and you crack into him. And when you do, the energy, that sort of weird glow that's on his hand and buckler, gets a little bit brighter. And Reevesy, you go in and poke him, and it gets a little bit brighter. Lambert, you're up.
So, is it just the one guy still standing?
Mm-hmm. Everyone else is asleep.
Mercifully fasting.
God, I love bards.
Lambert's been looking, as a few seconds ago, he's a little frustrated, and you see the broken vine on the ground in the snow, and he's kind of muttering to himself, damn you. I don't want to do this. All right, then he looks over at the others and makes a little calculation in his head and weighs the options. And you see him start to pull at all those little slip knots on his leather armor. And it's just this real quick motion. He's going to begin to shift and change. And as he's muttering to himself, you hear him saying, all right, I don't want to have any indigestion in the morning again. And you see the mohawk on the top of his head start to lengthen and fur begin to sprout from his skin, and all the leather armor begins to loosen as his limbs and chest expand. And if anyone's actually paying attention to him off in the side of the snow, they see a creature that I don't know if any of them would have seen. Lambert certainly hadn't ever really heard of this before he was given this ability. And essentially to everyone else, there is a giant spotted hyena standing in the snow with strips of leather armor hanging off of him. And so bonus action wild shape, and then cackling madly, he's going to rush forward and attack this dude. That is he's got to just leap forward in front of everyone.
What the fuck?
So you see him like just bounding through the snow, and he's going straight for him. 10 plus 5 is 15.
15 hits.
Okay.
Yes.
So he's going straight for the head. He's just massive maw, because it's a hyena, but it is huge. It's almost like the size of a brown bear. So 7 plus 3 is 10.
10 damage. All right. As you go in to take a bite at him, he sort of pulls back, and you get a chomp deep into his shoulder. He screeches out, He takes 10 damage. And that light that was glowing in his arm and in his shield, disappears. And Reevesy, it is your turn.
Miss Rennyn, are we just gonna let this guy get mauled by some sort of big dog?
I mean, and you kind of see Rennyn's eyes are like very fired up. I want to see what happens.
Okay, well, everybody else is kind of dealt with, so...
Yeah, you can mug them.
I'm gonna... Yeah, great, cool, awesome!
Bonus action hide?
Great.
That's a 13.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to steal from some of the unconscious boys.
Give me a sleight of hand check. And this is not to see if you succeed. You're just going to auto-succeed at pulling stuff out of their pockets. This is going to be if you wake them up.
Do I get advantage from the hide, or is that just not relevant?
The hide, you auto are hidden from them. The hide is would be more in reference to the guy who's still awake.
Great. Wonderful. Fuck me running. That's an 11.
You are lucky. Rolled a 2. You find in his pockets a couple things. You find a little coin purse, a piece of paper that is crumpled up, and you find a small locket.
What do I expect in the sticks?
Just for diligence sake, I'm going to kind of get up back around Paula so that this fucking hyena doesn't attack me.
Azza sees you going through one of the guy's pockets and stops panicking for a second and gives like a little bit of like an inquisitive look at you. Like, really? In the middle of a fight? Next is Rennyn.
Rennyn is so torn between getting into the midst of this, but also wanting to see what Lambert can do.
Yeah, right.
She's so fascinated by the fighting. So in her excitement, she is going to run up and grapple the last guy.
Okay, cool. Give me a athletics check then, I believe.
With advantage.
You're a grapply person.
I am a grapply person. That is a 24.
You hear an 18, which is pretty good, but that's still not enough. What kind of hold do you get him in?
I headlock him and I give like a thumbs up with the arm in front towards this now hyena Lambert. Holding him and smiling.
There's a little bit of just looking at you. I guess an eye just kind of off the side as it is savaging this guy's shoulder.
Absolutely amazing. He is going to, struggling in your arms, looking around, he sees Reevesy going through the pockets of his sleeping companions, and he sees this hulking hyena monster right in his face, with Paula a little off to the side. Bros! And he sort of reaches down and he pulls his shield in front of his face for a second. And there is the sound of a seal breaking, a shattering, as the shield cracks and a otherworldly light starts to emit from the seams. There is an enormous explosion that erupts out from the shield as chunks of metal go flying in all directions. I need Paula and I need Lambert to give me dexterity saving throws.
My dex is so bad. God damn it.
Do I need to do one because I'm there or no?
No, you're behind him in a headlock.
I've got a 17.
17?
No, I'm like right there.
I got a whole 10. Dex is not Paula's strong strong suit.
Paula, you take 23 damage. Half of it is fire damage and half of it is piercing damage.
Now, this is where you want to use stones and turrets.
Welcome to level 4.
Okay, now I'm gonna... Right.
Emily looks so affronted.
I literally am. Alright, let me roll this bad boy. Okay, I save 11 of that, so that's something.
So you take 12 damage. And Lambert, you also take 12 damage because you take half 23. Actually, 11. Yeah, you take 11 damage. As bits of metal stick into your hide. As the smoke starts to clear a little bit, you see this bracer wrapped around, like you see these leather straps wrapped around his arm and a fractured chunk of bit of shield. And within it, there is like a painted bowl. There are things written that were behind it that seem to be like sort of sizzling off. Either Lambert or Rennyn could roll me an Arcana check if you want to have a sense of what that is.
15.
Ooh.
Respectable.
With a 15, Rennyn, you recognize that writing. You haven't seen it in a while. It's something that the last time you saw was when you were in the military. This shield is an enhanced object. There is a bit of primal magic infused into it. You have seen this before with some of the higher ranking members of the military, arcanists that were experimenting with accessing bits of magic from the gods and imbuing it into objects. It's one of those things that's incredibly dangerous and unstable. You get the sense that that probably wasn't supposed to explode.
Doesn't seem like it's meant to be working that way.
You can see that his hand from like the wrist up is sort of blown off, and his hand is actually just hanging loose. Like it is still connected, there is still skin, but whatever bone was there is fractured and battered. Takes one desperate swing at you. He's actually going to try to reach around and hit you, Rennyn, with his sword. This is going to be an attack with disadvantage. 9, so he's going to miss. And next it is your turn, Paula.
I'm gonna. What Sin said. How fresh is this guy? Is this guy looking?
Well, he was pretty fresh before, but through a combination of hyena bites and his arm blowing off, he looks a little bit messed up.
She's going to look at Rennyn and just sort of just move your head out of the way, darling. I'm just going to see if I can do a little coup de grace here. So she's going to bring down her hammer square into the dude's face. Oh man, I'm rolling so bad. It's only an 11.
His AC is down by 2 because his shield exploded, but it's still a 12, so no, that misses.
Yeah, no, it's fine. He's too squirmy, and I didn't want to hurt Rennyn.
Next is Lambert.
Okay, I'm actually going to... This will be fun. We see the hyena just kind of back off of the guy and take a quick look around at the other three. And there's a look on the hyena's face which definitely doesn't look natural on this creature, but this creature shouldn't be as big as it is anyways. And kind of considers and then backs up, and I'll take the opportunity attack from him as I back away from him. I'm going to back up about 10-15 feet while looking straight at him. And then just kind of growling, gotta think about it again, and then charge straight for him and attack. I'm going to use the charger feat to run straight at this guy with a dash action. And that's going to give me some extra damage if I hit on him.
Very cool. He is going to try to swing at you as you pull back.
Go for it.
He is really messed up, though, so... Does a 14 hit you?
14 on this one? Yes, it does.
4 damage.
4 damage. All right. So, hyena just... as it backs off, and... okay, 14 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so just bounds up, and that's going to be... 2d6 plus 3. So let's do that.
Cinder, I have a very important question. Is Reevesy within 5 feet of this guy?
Yes.
Great. Make that 3d6, please.
That's going to be a lot. That's going to be kind of nasty, which is what I planned for. The charger feat, if I move at least 10 feet in a straight line, I get an extra 5 damage to the roll. So 22 total damage as I back away and then just lunge straight for the head again.
Dang.
Go for the jugular!
Right at him.
Please describe how you take down this ruffian.
Yes.
In as visceral a manner as possible. There's maybe a short scream, but the whole head just disappears in the jaws, and there's a crunch.
Ooh.
I say.
And how many people are still standing?
He was the last one. Everyone else is asleep.
There's 2 asleep and 1 mangled but asleep.
Okay, but they're still alive, aren't they?
They are still alive.
Yes.
Well, you know what, though? I used my bonus action as part of the charger feat, so I'm not going to use the rampage. But at the moment, the hyena just and swallows the head whole.
Gross and amazing.
But that you guys see the hyena as he's swallowing that head, he starts slowly padding over to one of the unconscious bodies.
We are out of initiative.
Oh, Lambert's not.
You guys see in front of you 3 sleeping people still affected by the sleep spell. One of their legs is bent up in the air in the way they're not supposed to. And you see Amin slowly start to stand up. Oh, boy, that was... Told you it'd be fun, Maurice.
Alright, no, who is Maurice?
Huh? Oh, that is my friend. And he does this, like there's someone standing next to him.
There's nobody there, guy.
That's not true. That's okay. Listen. You guys. He takes out his flask and takes a big swig. This is why I was saying you should get out of here. You good people. You help helpless old man. It's great.
Nah, mostly we're just robbing these guys.
Oh.
And eating them, I guess. That's a new one on me.
Reevesy, you should also tie them up so we can rob them more efficiently.
I don't really want to get near them while our buddy there is eating lunch.
Holy moly, look at that!
Yeah!
A little bit faster than you expect someone to be able to. With the hand that is not the hand that he arm wrestled you with, he pulls out a sword and holds it up to you, Lambert. Maurice, looks like one of the monsters made it to town. And he starts to stumble forward towards Lambert.
Now, let's not be hasty.
My friend, you're gonna die.
What?
The hyena's kind of backing up and then looking at the other 3.
I think Paula is going to step between the 2 of them. Say, now, there's nothing wrong. He just helped you. So you need to put down your sword unless he gets hungry again. So, but be a good boy, Lambert, and eat that one that needs eating. That he's going to go bad otherwise. And she's going to point at the one with the broken
Lambert's got to move to start biting from the boot unless anyone stops him.
Wait, hold on, look out for the boots.
You see Azza very hesitantly put his sword away, and he walks over to you, Lambert, gets very close, doesn't touch you or anything, and leans down right next to your face as you're starting to chomp on this guy, and he just gives a little bit of a smell. Nah, you're right, Maurice. He's not a monster. Weird. Never seen a monster. It's not a monster before.
I think with that, the form shivers a bit, and all the bristling red hair along the back kind of goes still, and then everything begins to shrink back down, and a buck-naked Lambert with loose bits of leather hanging off of him is there in the snow, almost steaming a bit, and it's just...
Please, y'all give me a second.
And he just starts cinching all of those loose slip knots and bowlines again, and all the leather armor starts to cinch back and chap around his legs, and most of his clothes are torn back in the snow, but he's pretty well covered.
I say.
What the fuck?
That was so impressive.
Yeah.
And terrifying.
I genuinely don't know what Reevesy's like exposure to like stories about magic would be, but the way that I've been kind of expecting this is that like as a bit of a city boy for the most part, right? It's not something you would be interacting with on like a day-to-day basis, and even Rennyn's is a little abstract.
The way that I interpret where magic is at in the world now is that it's essentially the same as like lions. You know that lions exist. You believe that lions exist. You've never seen a lion. You probably will never see a lion, but you're confident that lions are things that exist. It is on the fringes, in the faraway places, and when in places that are popular industrialized, it is like maybe 2 guys in a tower that work for the Emperor have access to magic, like in that town. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very rare, but it's not unheard of.
Well, and I think there's an element of like, this feels almost like religious magic, right? Like this is the kind of thing a god would do, and I think Reevesy is trying to wrestle with like, is Lambert a god? Is there an is Lambert a god check?
I don't think there's an existential philosophy check.
Lambert's there in the snow, and Lambert lets out a big belch.
Listen, I wasn't kidding when I talked to you guys earlier. Y'all should really not do what you're about to do. It's not worth it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes. Saved me. Made sure Maurice didn't have to kill a bunch of people, which I appreciate. You appreciate too, Maurice? Yeah.
I don't think Maurice would have killed anybody.
I'm glad we saved him the trouble of getting his hands dirty. But how long have you and Maurice known each other?
Oh, Maurice, when did we meet? Maybe 40 years ago or so?
You see how Maurice didn't answer your question?
And you see him like turn like he's talking to somebody and like laugh at a joke that nobody says. About 40 years ago. Right around the time that I moved here.
Forgive me, Maurice. But what? My eyes aren't so good, you see. What does he look like? Could you describe Maurice for me?
Oh, he's invisible.
Oh, that's probably why I can't see him. Yes.
Oh, fucking course.
I can't even see him. I just know where he is because he's in my heart. You know how that goes.
Why are we still having this conversation?
We're having this conversation because y'all seem like some people that might actually not be the shittiest, and I would rather you not get yourself killed, and I would rather you not do what you are here to do.
Well, let's put it this way. If we do it and succeed, then no one else will be doing it anymore, and we'll be saving lives.
What do you think you're here to do exactly?
I have no idea.
I'm here to kill whoever found out who I am.
Oh.
Now see, that's a motivation I can get behind.
Now, listen, it looks like we're all going to be doing this either way, so do you have any advice, at least, other than not to do it? If you could give us any tips on survival, where we're going, what would they be?
I've got a tip for you. The fellers that are going to be meeting with you, they're going to ask you to do something that doesn't sound so bad. Y'all might even think it sounds like a good thing to do. But it's not. It's a terrible thing. And its consequences will echo far beyond this little town. Don't take anything they say at face value. The amount of folks that have been coming through these woods, killing things ought not be killed, trying to find some... And you can see he's like almost about to say something, and then he kind of like, something stops him. If you're good enough to help an old man getting mugged in the snow, you probably don't want to do what they'll be having you doing.
Asha. Oh. Who was the god of this place? Is there still one around?
Shit, I've lived in this place for about 40 years or so, 40, 45. There's stories of the gods, but it's more like echoes. It's all that remains. I spent quite a bit of my time preventing things from getting too close to town that ought not be here. If there was a god in this place, those things, they wouldn't. Ain't no godly creatures here.
Is it just me, or is this guy getting progressively less drunk?
Anyway, it was really nice meeting y'all. I wish you well. And he very intentionally starts to briskly walk away.
Miss Rennyn, what do you want to do about this whole situation here?
Can we sidebar real quick?
Yeah, I thought that's what we were doing.
So, do we want to take this job? Because, like, here's the thing. I'm okay with some crime, but there has to be a line with some crime, right?
Well, I mean, probably. But we don't even know what it is yet. As far as we have been told, there's a fight. We might be entitled to 30,000 gold already. This might have been the fight.
Oh, you know what? You're not wrong. I have a side question, too.
Yeah.
You know how Lambert was asking about gods?
Yeah, that was a weird kind of non sequitur to the conversation.
Do they move? And if the answer's no, what if one is dead, per se?
Well, aren't most gods dead? I thought that was the Empressar's whole thing. I think it's fine, right? Like, I don't think it's the woods. It's not like there are cops out there. We go out there, we do some light crime, we get paid 30,000 gold, and if it's not light crime, then we can reevaluate, you know?
What if it's nature cops?
Literally about to say the same thing.
As you guys are discussing this, you can hear Azza start to like sing a little bit to himself as he is walking away, and a noticeably not faint mist and fog starts to like spread slowly around him. In the cursed woods of midnight, this land that's lost to light, monsters roam and magic flows, and you're hiding in fear each night. The trees are twisted and turned with wrath, and the shadows never fade. You hear a sound barely over the mist. It is faint, and I would say that I would describe it as sounding strained. There's an element of age to it. You hear a and you can barely make out the words that he is singing as his voice very quickly and like at an unnatural speed starts to get farther and farther away. From the beasts that glow underneath the snow, on earth and hearts you don't want to know, in the cursed woods of midnight. That was part 1 of our 2-part mini arc, The Hateful Fate. I hope you like it so far. It's my first time being a dungeon master for the show, and I hope that it's at least medium fun. As always, thank you so much for listening. Thank you to our patrons, and a very special thank you to our rally defenders, Darlene Wallace and the Elder Barry. You guys are the best. You're the greatest. We love you. Don't forget, this Saturday, March 25th, we will be having a trivia night in our Discord. Come hang out. It'll be fun. And we'll see you next time for part 2 of The Hateful Fate, our little one-shot before we get deep into Arc 3 of the main campaign. Bye!